Willie, the win on Sunday saw us do the league double over Wigan, which means we've now done the double over the so-called Big Four in Super League. It's another great achievement for the club and the side itself.
Yeah, it's nice when you look back on and you reflect, and it's nice to achieve those sort of things. And I don't think at any stage the players go with any intention to try and achieve those sort of things. But it's been, as I said before, these are week-to-week propositions, and this is what we do, and this is how we approach our games. And it's nice to be able to do those doubles over the so-called big teams, and I think it's nicer that the team can regard itself and everyone else in the competition regards the club as one of the big teams also now.
And what were your thoughts on the game against Wigan on Sunday? It was a great team performance.
Yeah, fantastic team performance. To be able to score that many points against a tough defence like Wigan's, it takes some doing, it takes some effort, it takes some work as a group. And they work really hard together as a team, and there's a real cohesion, a real understanding being built throughout the course of the season. The players understand that needs to continue, but I think the rewards, and this has happened before in the season, where they've been able to score a lot of points on the back of the defensive efforts that they came with. There was some real brutal physical defence over the weekend. There was some real intent and purpose about how they went about their work, and they got some rewards by not only getting the ball in their hands and forcing the opposition to errors, but being able to finish those off and score some points, which is nice for them because they enjoy that. They enjoy it, and as coaches, you like to see them express themselves in that fashion.
And as you mentioned, then the defence, so it's now the best in the league. So, as a coach, what is it? Is it more important to see the attacking side of it or the defensive side? Which of the records is the most pleasing to see?
Yeah, both. I think it goes hand in hand. I think it goes. I don't think you can have one without the other. But I think the players understand the idea that defence is really important, and your defensive efforts allow some of your attacking skills to come to the fore, and that's what they've done this year. To be able to sit at the top of both is a real commendation for the team. And they're a really good football team, and I think everybody knows that. There's some really skillful players in the group, but I think more so than that, they love to be able to work hard defensively. I think that's when you show your spirit. That's when the evidence of how tight you are as a group comes out, when you're willing to work hard defensively and prevent teams from crossing your line. We're not faultless at all, ever, but they do try hard, they do work hard to cover for each other.
We've got Hull coming up on Friday, quite a quick turnaround, so quite a lot of pressure on the game as well, so they're definitely not a team to be taken lightly.
No, not at all. There's a lot of people saying they're the form team of the competition at the moment, that's for some just cause. They were very good against Cass last weekend, they scored some really fantastic tries, but it's tough going to Hull any time of the year, but to go there on a Friday night, last game of the season, there's a lot of emotion. They could there's some farewell for players, all that sort of stuff. I think it's just been announced the coach is leaving at the end of the season, so they've got some emotional ties to the game. We really need to be on our guard. They've already got us once down here, and they're in a lot better form now than when they got us the first time round. So we need to be really on our guard and really go there with an intent to play the best that we can.
And it's been a really competitive season this year, and it's all down to sort of the last week of rounds. What's it like being involved in such a competitive season? It's a great advert for the game.
Yeah, it's great. This is how you want it to be. And I've been at both ends, and I know which end I like to be at. But this is what you're after: competition right to the end. 1 and 2 are still up for fights, and I think there's 5 and 6 are still fighting. Hull is still fighting. They could end up in 5th spot. 7th and 8th and 9th, they're still fighting it out. So this is what the competition is about. This is why we bring in salary caps, and this is why the competition is spread out evenly. I think it could still spread out a little bit more, but coming down to the last season, I think the last game of the season, I think this is what the league is after, and this is what the competition's been screaming for.